Hello there, and welcome to, for now, the final LEGO custom build review of the RN Pola from the Italian Navy. Now, whereas the Hood and Yamato, eventually those two ships did get kits made by Colby, I have yet to see a kit of this ship, and I am proud of that for what I've been able to achieve. Um, it is a little bit longer and thinner than any of the other builds, even that of the Hood. So it does have that really sleek appearance. And I really had to work hard on getting the shape of the turrets, the shape of the superstructure. I didn't even properly, of course, there's limitations of the material, but the Italian sleek curved hulls, all their ships were built for speed. So there's a little bit lost in the translation of the material, but for what it's worth, I think I was able to capture it pretty well. So let's dive in. So, much like with the Hood, right, I was able to basically maintain the same hull construction process. Long tiles, layer with some supports spread throughout, and then just repeat. And then the front was the only area that was nice and solid. You layer up your plates up top, and then you do the same thing at the rear. Oh, come on now. She has a tendency to tip over. Thankfully, it's not a real ship. And then you do that same thing here. So we have solid rear, followed by some hollowed intermittent support hull, plates laying over to lock it together. So that's the whole construction, and that's what I like about continuously improving this method is that the hull is super easy to do. But once you get up to here, that's when the detail becomes kind of hard to pull off, which we'll talk about, starting with the turrets, the main guns, right? So the main guns of the Italians are the main battery were very close together, very compact, and that made it easy to do this. But then the shape of the turret being very curved on the front and the back, I had to do a bit of thinking. So you can kind of see there. I like that about Legos. You can just look at the side and it's kind of a cutaway profile of the parts I used. But then on the rear, let's take a look here. I used that type of tile piece and stuck these little guys on the back. Let's see if I can get that to focus a bit better. And I fit them in such a way that they fit right against the barbette and stuff behind them. So it's a very snug fit, and because they're both curved surfaces, they slide right past each other. So you have that Italian sort of compact design actually being portrayed here because they're trying to. This was around the treaty era, I believe. And I know Italy basically violated the treaties outright, like many people did. But you do get that impression of everything's very compact. They're trying to save weight, trying to fit all this onto a vessel with certain tonnage. It's impressive um, that they were able to pull that off, even if they did break the limits technically. Let's see. Anti-aircraft guns, same thing. Now the superstructure. The Pola is different from her sisters because she was, I believe she had extra accommodations for like a flagship. I could be mistaken. Someone can check me on that. Hopefully, I'll check myself later. But and also it was perhaps also like a weight saving thing. But they trunked the funnel into the front superstructure, and so she has a very distinctive look. I think that was pretty simple here. Just take the funnel and slap it right behind the superstructure. You know, build the frontal tower in there with some angles, right? Get the secondaries, a little bit of a crane built right into the bottom of her mast, right? So have that pennant and everything. Rear funnels, range finders. These secondaries right here, those were interesting to try and figure out because I even looked at like a World of Warships model and they kind of stuck out a bit and they were sort of free floating like this. So I had to take that off. So you can see here, I was able to connect it into the superstructure and then put a cylinder and a stud right underneath. And that basically created that sort of independently standing secondary battery. What else? Oh yeah, and I even tried to kind of give the impression of a runway at the front of the ship by making it nice and smooth right here. I don't have an actual aircraft for this one. I think I lost it actually. I'll just make another one, but it's the same aircraft as the ones on Yamato. Let me actually grab that. I can actually just reach over and grab one off Yamato right here. And the thing is, I think the reason I removed it or lost it or whatever is because I realized it's not the scale. If you're looking at this, then that's much bigger, than an 8-inch gun. What I think I should have done is probably made a slightly bigger version of this where it's wider, longer. So maybe instead of a 3x3, it's like a 2x3. Should have been a 2x6 perhaps for the wings. Because I have to think this is a much smaller ship than Yamato, and I was building these aircraft based off of Yamato. So that's a bit of a scaling error on my part. I need to write that down or else I'll probably forget. Build a bigger aircraft mini for the Pola. But yeah, small differences in the superstructure. And that will about do it. I don't have anything else for this. But the reason I like this one so much is because of those challenges with the turrets and with the superstructure, right? Just trying to fit all that in, and with the secondaries, right? The secondary wasn't something I caught until much later, but I was able to squeeze it in right before competition. Um, but those little details on the top of the ship, as well as just the overall dimensions, it's nice. It's a long, sleek design. I really like it, and it is something I'm glad I did because now working on the Richelieu, however you pronounce it, for all the French people, help me out if you find this video. Um, the French, if I thought the Italian design was hard, looking at the curves, the French design so far has been a nightmare. And I've already put that video up about just doing the turrets was a challenge. But that's for future me to worry about. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up here. And like I said, this is the last one for now. I'll probably do a in-depth one when I finish the Richelieu sometime in the future. That might be years from now, with all the different stuff going on and just life. But it is what it is. And without further ado, I catch you in the next one, hopefully. Whatever video that turns out to be. Until then, peace.